so we can learn from your example. We appreciate it. Simple.
Anytime I can.
What's that, like $5 later, you save yourself major trouble. And it's also protecting your equipment at the end of the day, right? So, all right, next one, smoke detectors. What do you want to tell us about smoke detectors?
Well, the big thing is change your batteries and check them. Go around to all your smoke detectors. There's a test button on there. There's also, you can go on Amazon, there's a spray that you can buy that you can spray that emulates. Now, don't do this. I've heard people.
Headphones on first. Okay.
I've heard people like, well, I go around with a piece of paper and light it on fire and see if that thing goes off. I'm like, yeah, I'm too afraid of what else might happen there. I could see so many ways that could go wrong.
Don't try this at home.
There is a test button on it, but there are some people who say that that's not the same as smoke. But you can buy a spray that sets that off. But at the very least, change all your batteries because first of all, I mean it's cheap and it's safe, and that thing's going to start chirping and going off at 3 in the morning. They never go off.
No, they don't. They always go off. They start beeping if the battery dies. It's always 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
So we actually, my youngest son Mason is a Cub Scout, and one of his things that he needs to do to meet his Cub Scout requirements is to do a family emergency plan. And we just actually sat down this week as a family, and we, where are we going to meet in case of a fire and all that jazz. And my wife said, I need you to change all the batteries in the smoke detectors, because that's actually one of the items on the checklist in terms of creating a family emergency plan. And just a few years back, we had a situation. It's probably about 5 years ago, and he was like 4 or 5 years old, and we were in our house, and I happened to be home, and the lamp in our living room caught on fire.
Holy cow!
Well, it just went up in flames, and I was upstairs. Wow. My wife starts screaming. I come flying down the stairs. The lamp is in flames. She pulls the thing out of the wall, and of course everyone was home. The kids were like in a frenzy, and everything sort of settled down. The house didn't catch on fire, thank goodness. And then we started to look around, and we said we couldn't find our son. We're like, where's Mason? Where's Mason? Like, everyone was kind of watching like what was going to happen to this lamp, and is the house going to catch on fire? And he had remembered the family emergency plan that we had done years ago, and he was at the mailbox, which is where the family was supposed to meet if there was ever a fire. He was like 3 or 4 years old, and we were like, where'd Mason go? And we look out the window and was like, you know what? He's at the family meeting place at the mailbox down the street. It's a great story, but it's a great idea. I mean, get your smoke detectors, make sure that they're functioning. That smoke alarm went off, and he flew out to the mailbox. Wow. So pretty fun story.
That's crazy. That's good you were there. Did they find, was it a cord? Was it a faulty cord?
It was actually the assembly where the light bulb goes in. It was that part of the lamp that caught.
Don't buy cheap lamps.
That's right.
Do not buy.
We did take it back to JCPenney. We had bought it like 6 or 8 years earlier. They totally replaced it for free and got us.
Oh, I'm sure they're happy. They probably pick out anyone you want. I did want to tell the folks out there though, we kind of touched on it, but if your smoke detector's chirping, that is to let you know that the battery is low.
That's right.
And to replace it. All of our inspectors actually carry batteries with them, because you would be amazed at how annoying. You cannot perform an inspection with that thing chirping the entire time. I've been there and people live there, and I was like, that chirping bother you? It did first. I got used to it.
In a couple months, right?
Yeah, like, your battery is the other thing too is a lot of people when they're cooking, their smoke detector will go off, and they'll take the batteries out and then never put them back in. We had a rental house. Scary. We had a rental house that $50,000 worth of damage, and that's what happened because
they pulled it out because it was
on a previous one, and then it didn't go off. I mean, the one in the hallway went off, but they said if that one and he was cooking, and